about like a current project that each of us are working on and is in progress. One that I'm currently working on is called Egyptian Explorers of the Galaxy, and it's a historical science fiction story. If you are a lover of things like Stargate or anything in the Stargate series, this is for you. But it's also, like, full confession, my wife loves all things related to ancient Egypt, so that had some influence on this too. And basically what I wanted to explore is I've always found it fascinating the way humanity overall, we went from, pantheons of gods and, there's a god everywhere, like there's a god of the forest, god of this, god of that, god of thunder. And then how this evolution happened where the very first monotheistic religions. And so one thing that really surprised me is that that drift started way earlier than I originally thought. So you've got so my story actually is, my main character is Nefertiti, which you may have heard of. So it's told from her perspective, and I wanted her because during her reign of Egypt was when there was this little sort of this upsurge of a new religion taking place called they worshipped a deity called Aten, which was the first time in Egyptian history the idea that there is one god instead of many. And so it was, for its time, it was very revolutionary, and it was very very controversial. And in fact, they, as is the case throughout human history, human beings are not very good at tolerating other people's belief systems. And so this new religion arose, and then it was very brutally snuffed out. And so my story is based on this idea: what if Nefertiti and some of her followers of this new one god had managed to escape through a portal to another planet? And so it's kind of about their adventures surviving in this other desert world, similar to Egypt, yet different. And kind of how those, maybe if their belief system had not been snuffed out, how might it have been allowed to evolve and develop? And so that's just kind of, so again, that's my current project. I think I've only got about 8 chapters up so far, but I'm going to be getting some new ones out. And it's just for anyone who likes, ancient Egypt, or finds belief systems interesting, and how faith has affected human society and changed human society. That's kind of, the history geek in me and the sci-fi geek in me, exploring new worlds and exploring from a more anthropological perspective. So that's kind of that's Egyptian Explorers of the Galaxy, and that's my current project.
Nice. Really good too. I've already read some of it.
So I know that. So I tried to keep it brief. I hope I did a good job. So, yeah, I guess Charlotte or Gail, take it away. I know with Gail, the problem is, which of your 15 current projects do you want to highlight? But
yeah, really. Well, I've just finished Bernice Bob's Her Bustle, and this came from. I started off with Bernice Bob's Her Hair by 20s writer, name I can't remember. Jazz Age, Gatsby,
Dorothy
Fitzgerald.
Oh,
Fitzgerald wrote Bernice Bob's her hair, and I thought, well, that would be fun to make it steampunk, so that's what I did. And then after I wrote the initial story, I thought, well, let's go on with this and see whatever's happened. And it seems like it's gone on and on and on. And I finally wrote the final episode of it yesterday, leaving it open for, there can be season 2. But I'm done with Bernice for a while. I'm really glad she's gotten everything back together. She has the Malverton Detective Agency on her side, and she may actually become an agent. I think she'd make a good analyst. So, but I'm just so glad that's done. And go read it. It's fun. She does finally get her comeuppance, or the person behind everything gets comeuppance, which is good. And there's a budding love story. I may have to write that eventually.
How many episodes in total is it then?
59, I think. 58 or 59.
Cool.
So they're all short. I think there's 1 or 2 that go up to 10 tokens, but most of them are 6 or 7.
Awesome. So. All right. You heard it here first. Go read it.
Go and read it.
Go read it. It's fun. Cheap.
All right, Gail. What's on your docket here of the many,
Yeah,
many things?
right now, I'm in the middle of book 3 of my Cyborg Squad series. It's called Mission Tethys. And it's interesting writing novellas for a publisher like that because you're always kind of thinking word count and what you need to fit in because you want to tell a good story in each novella, but leave it open and leave some dangling ends to wrap up in the next one and the next one. So in the second book, Mission Pleistocene, I had the first appearance of my mysterious, maybe they're aliens, maybe they're future beings who are actually building these anomalies and these orbs that transport people through different time periods on Earth. But I didn't put a whole lot of emphasis on it. I just said, this is what it looks like. It's really weird. Wonder what it is. Boom. We had to do something else. So in book 3, Mission Tethys, this is set during the time when Pangea was breaking up into Gondwana and Laurasia, and there was the ocean between them was called the Tethys Ocean. So I get to use really cool sea creatures like plesiosaurs and the occasional pterodactyl, and fun stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm bringing in new characters, and I'm kind of not sidelining old characters, but putting them in different locations because I cleverly set up that there are bunches of these anomalies and only a very few people who can actually access them, the Cyborg Squad people. So it's interesting to bring these in, get them trained, send them to different locations, and still keep focused on my main characters. So, and
Very cool.
which do a revolving kind of door thing, who's here this time and that kind of stuff. But that's fun to do. I'm about 10,000 words in, shooting for between 35 and 40,000, and it's just fun to write and getting some good reviews. So
I'm noticing a commonality here that we all like to explore other time periods. We're not content to just be here in 21, 20, 20, the 21st century.
whatever
Yeah.
this is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever this is, 2023. I lose track, but no, yeah, I like how we've got everything, really different time periods represented. It's very cool. All right, so that is a wrap up for some of the Mug authors' current projects.